had to get the jack stands close to the height they need to be at. These things just take absolutely forever to crank up, but so. Okay, so the frame rail is now up inside there, sitting in the little pocket on the tail panel, which is, okay, so right under here. Wish I had a light, but it's up inside this cavity against the back face. And then this one, yeah, it feels like it's also probably touching there as well. I mean, it's because it's rolled over, you can't really get your fingernail in there or anything, but I am, you know, pretty much where my lines were previously from installing the frame on top of, or from assembling the frame on top of the floor. So I'm back where I started. One thing I will note is you have to, in order to do this, this piece that comes across will interfere with these little seatbelt brackets. The little tab that's on the bottom of the seatbelt bracket, there's a tab on the bottom and there's normally a tab on the top. So they both have to come off, the top ones, because otherwise it won't swing up into place. I couldn't even get it to swing down without you're just kind of manipulating the floor pan a little bit. But I figured once I start welding it at all, anywhere, that's obviously not going to be an issue if anything's, you know, rigid. Granted, it shouldn't be rigid until I stick the frame up underneath there. But anyway, you know, so just to bear in mind, you got to trim those off. I don't think it does anything, but it probably just a leftover thing from the manufacturing process. So that's pretty much what it looks like underneath at this point. I'm going to weld these in solid eventually, you know, at some point in time, all through here, you know, weld that in when I'm done getting everything in place. I just kind of stitch weeded it for now. So, but I like it so far. It's not, doesn't look too bad. I don't really remember exactly how much overhang there was on the wheel well down over top of the edge of the floor, so I may have to play with that a little bit. But looking from the inside, it really doesn't look like there's I mean, it's sitting up inside, you know, roughly where I was thinking it should be located. It's tight up against the face, and if you go inside the wheel well, it's recessed. The floor is recessed up past the lip of the wheel well, so I'm assuming that's about where it goes. I really don't have any other indication besides those brackets at the front that go down for the rear of the seat, the back seat back, or whatever you call it, and then these back here as well. I mean, obviously, I don't want this to be out of square or whatever. So if I go too high, obviously it'll take away some of that. So I think it kind of, if you can kind of, I dare I say no load it, but if you can kind of no load the wheel wells a little bit, they'll kind of position where they're going to rest naturally. So anyway, so that's about it for now. The next thing I have to do is now go through and look at all these holes and start marking the frame inside all those holes, so I can figure out where I'm going to be cleaning off paint for when I'm going to weld it in. And then when that's done, when I get all that marked, everything where it's got to be marked, I'll then take everything, well, really just take probably take everything back out, I imagine, and then because I have to actually clean up this back edge here along there prior to welding the tail panel to it. So I'll probably take everything right back down and then start cleaning up taking the paint off and getting it ready for, I got to mark this one back here first, obviously, to make sure I know where I'm putting my spot welds, but then remove the paint where I'm going to do the spot welding. Get all that done, and then eventually go back in with it once I do the quarter pan, the wheel houses, like I was saying. So I'm going to take try to remove these to drill through a lot of these spot welds, and just maybe leave only like 2. I don't know, they're not terribly hard to get to right now. I was just thinking if there's anything that's going to be difficult to reach, it'd be nice to do it with the floor out of the way. I can just sit under there on a bench, on a stool, and just, drill away. So if I have to go up inside that opening to get to some of those spot welds, it may be easier if I don't have the floor in place. But it's not I don't have to do it, but it's just something I was thinking about. I was trying to make my life easier later. So I guess that's about it for this afternoon, and I'll see if I do anything else with it. If I do, I'll try to record what I got. So, and then if I come around here, I don't know if there's anything else to see from this side. But yeah, so basically from the side, I've got should have pointed that out. So I've got the torque box bottom flush with the rocker on each side. So I think that's about as high as it's supposed to go. This one up here obviously is a little higher, but I really don't know if these are even trimmed correctly. A lot of times I have ones that have a little bit extra meat on stuff here and there. So I do know those little covers are bent like crap, so I'm gonna have to re-short shape those a little bit. But that's pretty much where it stands at this point. I only stuck this rod in there initially just because I was trying to measure some stuff side to side. It just made it a little easier at the time, which actually was fortunate because I was able to put that and put my knees under that when I had it up there. Kind of flexed a little bit, but gave me a third hand, so to speak. So anyway, that'd be all for now. All right.